How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews, back with a little bit of re-review. I've done this beer before. It's been a while. We're doing a little bit of aged beer, too, in the form of Delirium Nocturnum. This is a 2014 bottle. Yeah, a little 6-year-old Belgian dark. Hopeful goodness. New Jersey is the land of shelf turds. Man, there's so much aged beer to be found in shelves in New Jersey. Lo and behold, today I'm out and about, and I see this little podunk little bottle shop. I walk in. It's not overtly crafty. Like, they have a decent craft selection, you know, nothing too crazy. And I'm walking around, and lo and behold, down on ground level, like literally ankle level, there's a shelf of the oldest beer. All of the oldest beer. And I picked up 3 beers from this place, and this is one of them. And this has just been sitting on a shelf. It was the last one I had. All the other ones I had multiples of. This is the last one I had. And I was like, okay, what year is this? And I'm pretty sure, I know this is 2014 bottle. It has to be older than 15 because the year, you can see Delirium did the kind of tick marking on the back there for the year and the batch number. They didn't actually tick these marks on this, but so it has to be older than 15. And it says L09, so I think lot 09, so it's batch number 9. And it's, I believe they do the Julian dating from there, which would be 14055. So it's the 55th day. So you're talking about February of 2014. So 2014. So February 2014. So you're talking about a 6.5-year-old beer on a shelf. It could have been on the shelf since then. Because who knows? Maybe it was at a distributor. Maybe they dropped it off. I'm kind of leaning in the direction this was sitting on a shelf at that place because it didn't even ring up on their system when I went to go buy it, which kind of worked out in my favor. So I grabbed all 3 of those old beers, and none of them really had price tags on them, and none of them would scan really in their system. And I was like, okay. I'm like, what do you want for them? And the cashier that was checking me out, I was like, I have no idea. He turned around and talked to, you know, her boss or owner. How much are these? And he gave me price for all of them, but this is $8. $8. Yeah, I will buy that every day of the week because even if this beer has not lived the best life, and if it comes off poopy, it's worth $8 because if it goes the other direction and it's fantastic, then I struck gold. Now, the other beers that I picked up, one was a St. Louis Creek. Framboise, and the other one was some brewery I never heard of before, and they had multiples of those. So if I open those and those are fantastic, I can go back and get more of those. So anyway, it's gonna have a date on there, so we're gonna know the date for sure. I know it's 2014 now. Oop, that really wanted to come out. So I'm kind of curious to see how this kind of goes. I thought it was gonna gush out. Oh, look at that! This beer is gonna be. If this beer is not corked, which is possible, because right around the year of this beer, there's a lot of corked batches of beer. 2013 cork. They could have been using up corks, but hey, 2013, so maybe 7.5-year-old beer. I don't think this is going to be a corked beer either. TCA is the chemical that causes corking, so you can get bad batches of cork. They have this, I don't know if it's an enzyme or bacteria or chemical or whatever, TCA in the cork, and if it touches the beer in wine, it's more of a wine thing, but it happens with beer too. It just adds this kind of weird, kind of oxidative off flavor that's unique to it. And I can usually detect it by smelling the cork, so I don't think we have this going on here. So we're off to a very, very good start. Label-wise, it's classic Delirium Nocturnum in semi-proper glassware. Sure, it's a Tremens glass, but you get the pink elephants on there, so I think we're off to a good start. That had such an aggressive pop on it. And that head, look at that. I mean, for a 7.5-year-old beer, I mean, come on. I mean, looks like it's brandy new. As far as the beer goes, it's a little bit lighter than what I remember. I remember Nocturnum having this rich darkness to it. And this has just ultra ruby red mahogany tones going for it. I mean, it probably looks more brown than anything else on the camera. But good God. I mean, that looks like a beautiful, beautiful beer right there. I think I am off to a very, very lucky start so far. Oh, look at that head. Soft little twirl immediately comes back. I'm hoping this thing, I mean, this can't be oxidized all that much. That's too well of a cork job on this. So let's see if we can get a nose. I mean, that smells absolutely fantastic. It smells like, so when you get these kind of Belgian darks, so this is again, I remember this being more Belgian dark than it is now. But when you get these Belgian darks, you just get little dollops of doubles. You get little dollops of quads in there. They tend to lean a little bit kind of malt rich than those other beers. And they bring those classic kind of Belgian, a little bit of fruity ester, you know, maybe a little red fruity ester in there, you know, that soft brown, even toasted brown bready component to it, something along those lines, that maltiness and nice sweetness. This smells like an aged version of that, no shit, Sherlock, but it's got this rich, like you take that brown bread and just caramelize it, just turn it into a dessert. You know what I mean? Go past the bread portion, you know. Make it like, imagine if you took like a really nice, slightly sweet brown bread and made French toast out of it. You know, that kind of sweetness you're getting in here with this rich kind of little raisinetty, datey, figgy thing that I love so much when it comes to a lot of these kind of European dark beers when they age so well. Man, that smells so good. That's fucking fantastic. If this beer sucks, then everything's wrong with the world. Let's dive in. Cheers. That's fucking fantastic. That's really, really, really good. It's funny because on the back here, it says actually imported by Wetton Importers, Sterling, Virginia. I don't even think they exist anymore. This might be actually Merchant du Vin import now. Could be wrong. Brewery Huyghe. I always say Huyghe on this. I forget. Everybody always corrects me. I always just, you know, everybody thinks that I'm Delirium. Actually, the funny part is I have this granddaddy old Huyghe bottle here. Actually, this says Merchant du Vin. That's probably why I thought of Merchant du Vin. This is actually the bottle. Like when I go to film stuff, and I set up my camera, I actually put this right here, and then I adjust the color and the focus and all that kind of stuff, and use that as the background. Anyway, so yeah, man, this is so good. It's so good, so good. Date figs, blackstrap molasses, got that spiciness going on. Just rich, not overly sweet too. It's sweet. It's like desserty. It's like candy. Like it's all those great things you would think of like classic dessert beer, but it's not overly sweet. It's not like they, you know, the beers that you get that there were cupcakes and, you know, Smarties and fucking money and hate and all kinds of things in the beer nowadays. No, this is just pure Core 4 plus Belgian candied sugar that has just morphed and twisted itself into this rich molasses, date, and figgy French toasty brown bread batch of awesomeness. Now, on the taste is a little bit of oxidation. Not that much. Almost certainly has to be from oxidation, from negative oxygen that was in the bottle when it was corked. It's one of the best corking jobs in the history of aged beer I ever had. The way that thing popped off. Look at this. The head. 7.5 years old. I'm drinking this thing. My lips are touching it. The oils from my body are getting into that beer. This head's like, nope. I'm sticking around. Not going away. So this is one of the best corked versions of beer. So it has to be a soft little papery note, which I don't mind with these kind of aged beers. A lot of times I view them as a positive, so it's not coming off as a negative for me in any stretch of the imagination. From whatever negative oxygen was left in there, that's why I'm getting that. 0 TCA, 0 corkiness. So that's a weird thing because a lot of people just don't give a shit about it. It doesn't really bother them all that much. It doesn't bother me, but it definitely kicks it down a notch. So to get a beer like this, aged like this, preserved like this, with no TCA, with no corking in it, is honestly, if you told me right now I would get this experience from this beer, how much would I pay for it? I'd probably, you know, $30 to $50. You know, I mean, it's not Thomas Hardy, you know what I mean, with a ton of time on it. It's not the best aged beer I've ever had in the history of mankind. But you're telling me I might be able to, because I'm going to go back there and I'm going to look deep and see if I can find any. If you can say I can get these for $8, $8 motherfucking bucks, all day. Yeah, absolutely beautiful beer, aged absolutely epically, and honestly, everything I wanted from this beer plus more. was hesitant because you see these beers, they kind of sit on shelves. You don't know where the fuck they've been. People picking them up, putting them down, picking them up, putting them down, non-air conditioned, kicking it, fucking falling over, all that kind of stuff. You don't know where these beers have been, what they've gone through. To have something like this come through, yeah, I like it. Did you guys notice that? I don't know if you've noticed yet. I like this beer. I'm not sure if that came across at all in the actual video. Good God. Anyway, let's cut to the chase. Is this one of the better Belgian darks that I've had in quite some time? Yes. Mount Rushmore status? It's fucking fantastic. Is this one of the better aged beers I've had in quite some time? Yes. It's honestly one of the... I mean, it's weird because I kind of want to, like, break it down into different categories because it's one of the better... I mean, just from an aging standpoint, it's one of the best aged beers I've had in some time. It's one of the best tasting ones. I mean, there are ones that probably did me a little bit better. Sure. J.W. Lee's 2011, I think I had recently. That one was fantastic. A couple of those. Is it going to be Mount Rushmore status? I'm putting it on there because I want to, because that's me and I can do what I want. It's my party. But there's other ones I've had better. But when you start to strip this beer down to its core, and being that it's just a base Belgian dark, no frills, come get me, it's hard pressed to find something better than this in this category of beer. Value and availability, $8. $8 off a shelf, and leave you with, if you like what we like this beer. If you like beer. Because usually I don't even care if you're like, a lot of these aged beers, I'll be like, you have to like aged beer. No. If you drink this and you don't like it, then you're like, no. We can't be friends. That's it. That's all you get. No friendship from me. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive. Want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice 7.5-year-old beer right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.